What's up, ACL Nation? I'm already here in Rock Hill, South Carolina. We're going to do episode number 37 of Baggin and Braggin, the best that we can. I'm going to make do with this hotel lobby internet. I apologize to Justin Stranger as I've already lost connection once, so we'll see how this goes. So, Meesh, before we get into it, I'm struggling, but how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I got a new camera, so you can tell it looks different here. That's because Corey Korn, we talk about all the time, found me a new camera, but he didn't adjust the lighting, so I have no idea how to do any of this. So that's why I look like a ghost or like a gray, half alive human.
That's what I was saying. Like your red is really popping. But the rest
repping the ACL hard.
Yeah. I actually almost wear that same shirt this weekend. And they said that we got to wear our staff shirts again for, was it Friday, I guess, or Saturday? So I had to adjust the wardrobe. But yeah, I'm out here. Landed at the airport at like 7 o'clock. Josh picked me up. Shout out to Josh Keck for giving me a ride. And got all the way here, checked in the hotel, no problems. Went up to the room and got everything kind of settled. But I'm looking forward to this weekend. I think it's going to be a fun weekend. We got everybody coming in for the ACL draft this weekend. So our guest tonight will be Justin Stranger. We're going to talk to him about having the first pick and see if he's gotten any good trade offers. And then after that, I don't know what you guys talked about. I lost connection. So hopefully you guys weren't bashing me or nothing behind my back.
Well, he did say, it'd be nice to say bye to Wally, but, he's not here, so.
Well, I was talking mad trash on him leading up to Spencer McKenzie because he was the only pro team in our pool. So I was like, oh, you scared of us, man? Are you really scared of me and Sean Latham? Like, it's going to go. And he's like, don't even know who you are. And so he was dishing it back.
It's a non-issue.
Yeah. So I got to remember to move my mouse every 50 seconds, it looks like. Otherwise, I'm going to get kicked off his computer, apparently. So.
It's got a time limit.
I got everything going for me right now. But let's get into the bragging segment, Meesh.
Yeah.
I got some bragging I want to do. Went to a tournament last Thursday, and I got a package earlier in the day from Daniel Lambert over at Dragon Bags. Shout out to Daniel and Maddie. And it was a couple T-shirts, a couple hats, and then some Power Dragons. So that's their new bag that they came out with. And I love the way they feel. They're really like a flimsy carpet where I can still push on the carpet side. So that's kind of right up my alley. Keeps my airmail. I don't have to flip my bag over for my airmail, so I like that type of material.
Did they send it broken in?
Yeah, he sent me a broken set. He knows I don't have time to break in my bag, so he treated them for me, sent them in. He said, this could be your favorite bag. I said, I like the way they feel. Let's see how they play on the board. So we went to the boards. I signed up. My buddy there, Bubba, Brian Nicholson, you see him in the chat all the time. He's always participating in K9 unit stuff. And I said, it's going to be me and you today, Bubba. We're going to throw these and we're going to win. And sure enough, there's 36 people there. There's 3 chips left in the bag. He said, I need you to draw number 1. Boop, number 1. Me and him got paired up.
No way.
We threw the Power Dragons. We won the whole thing, went undefeated. So it was really, really cool. Called it, nailed it, threw really, really well. He threw awesome. And we took the whole thing down.
And then powerful manifesting.
Yeah. And then it was kind of funny yesterday, too. We're at a blind draw, and he said, these are just my regular bags. I got my airmail bags out in the car because our airmail pot's up to $1,600. And he's the type of guy that comes in with 8 sets of bags. You know what I mean? So he went out to the car, came back in. Sure enough, hit an airmail shot for $500. So whatever we got going on right now in the Alton area is working. We're kicking.
That's a good night for both of you, but especially for him.
Yeah.
Pretty amazing. So you found a new set of bags you like. That's exciting.
Yep. Yeah.
I want to brag about the fact that I've got my 2024 Women's Cornhole Retreat in the books. So it is scheduled in Texas. It is going to be in a glamping type of resort type thing, and we're already taking reservations, so you can book your cabins. And the ladies from the last one earlier this March are wanting to all come back. So very excited to do this again with Rosie.
So you guys are going to be bigger and better and coming in like a swarm, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it's just really fun because getting women together. We work really well in community and prefer to learn that way. So it's a great way to come together, get better. And then I added on a spa day at the end. And so we just do the whole thing.
Nice. Yeah, I'm jealous. But like you said last time, I think you guys went. Anthony and I were talking. You guys were talking about the dishes being clean and stuff like that. It's not going to happen with us guys. So you don't want to have one man show up and ruin everything.
This is different, right? Because this, like, that was a house. Like, now we're all in our own little cabins. So I'm not entirely sure how that works, but we will figure it out for sure. Like, the food will be a little, more confusing.
Yeah, well, hopefully there's too many ladies that sign up for it, so that's another good problem that you guys have. I mean, it's pretty cool. I think a lot of the ladies would enjoy it. So if they're hesitant to sign up for it, don't be scared. Sign up for it. Sounds like a blast.
Yeah, so Rosie's all pumped, and if we get enough women, we can do like breakout groups based on like levels because you're working on different things at different levels. Should be good. Should be good. Yeah, we're getting some feedback now back there. What are they? They got like playing music over there?
I guess they're jamming out. Some guy just came and bought some chips, so he's crinkling the back. Oh, hold on. I got to extend my session, apparently.
They're like, this computer is only for 15-minute use. Get off.
Yeah, I mean, it says I've been on it for 5 minutes and 48 seconds. So I don't know if I'm timed in the hotel lobby or not, but the Wi-Fi is definitely not cutting it. One other thing I want to brag about, though, we made the official announcement today, Meesh. We talked a few episodes ago about the bar in St. Louis, about doing Cornhole Central. So the announcement has been made today. I am sponsoring that main court that we talked about. So K9 Unit and Cornhole Central are going to be in full force. And I believe we're going to have live feeds up and running probably 7 days a week. If they got a tournament there, there's going to be something to watch. So, yeah, making K9 Unit the one-stop shop.
Get to watch some local St. Louis players. I know we missed that a lot. We used to have that over here at the casino every Wednesday night on K9, and people look forward to that weekly tournament. And then, of course, lost our venue, so it'll be nice that you're bringing some nice portal action every night.
Yeah, it should be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, Tommy runs a good tournament, and I like the other owner that's involved with it. We talked to him. I got Melissa from Onboard Apparel drawing up the Versa court that we're going to do, the boards and score towers, and I'm going to have my own little section. So Merc boards, he's going to put together like a little signage with a QR code. So you scan the code and it'll take you to my website to buy all the apparel and stuff. So it's going to be a cool setup. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, and also just having a cornhole venue. Like, I mean, I love that these are popping up. We want to do one here. But like, how convenient to have somewhere you can play all the time. And it's like a nice venue, we just kind of get thrown in whatever venues we can get cornhole people, but it's nice to have one that's dedicated for us. All right, well, we are going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we are going to talk about our mock draft. So stay tuned for more right after this. Well, welcome back. We are going to walk through kind of our mock draft. So we looked at who we thought people would take in these 5 rounds. So as you may or may not know, the draft, when it's happening, we're only going to televise on the live stream the first 5 rounds. And then after that, we'll continue, but you won't be watching it. So we wanted to put together what we think might happen in those 5 rounds. We're going to go team by team, and then we will see if we're right. Now, I will say that when we put these together, some trades happened after.
I can guarantee you you're wrong. no matter, even if there weren't trades, I can guarantee you're wrong. Your draft is not going to be perfect. I did this last year. I went live and I did like a mock draft with the K9 viewers, and we're like, okay, who should this team take? Who should that team take? And I think I only got probably 16 picks out of all the 250 pros. So like, it is hard. It is hard. I know that Noah Bouillon tried to do a mock draft for his website that he's got up now, and he's like, guys, this is harder than I thought. Whenever you have to try and put yourself in the mind of the captain, and then in your head, you're like, we talked with Justin. In your head, you're thinking regional or bag affiliation or something, and then they just might not be thinking about that at all. Like I know last year, Jamie Graham wanted broadcast experience and broadcast people. People that had experience on the broadcast, and other captains were kind of like, I don't know who I was picking. I was just picking somebody. I ran out of time, and so yeah. So but we had some fun with it. A lot of trades kind of threw us off, but let's get into it.
Well, let's start off with the Georgia Sliders. Currently on the team, Cameron Belvin, Duncan Clemmer, Bobby Hunt, Terry Mathis, Ryan Smith, and of course the captain, Noah Wooten. We predicted that their first round pick would be Caden Allen. Second round would be Zachary Engelken. Third round would be Byron Sisson. Fourth round would be Tony Franco. And fifth round would be Hunter Yecklin. And if that does happen, it's not a bad looking little team there.
Yeah, I think we should get a giveaway if we get at least one of these teams right for the top five. But Tony Franco is someone that I don't really know too much about, but he is. I saw on that Team Titan video along with Byron Sisson. So I mean, you could start matching some bag plays there. Caden Allen would be the number 2 overall pick. I believe the Sliders picked second. So not a bad pick there, picking up Caden Allen. Obviously, we released the ACL Pro Experts, whatever you want to call us, mock drafts for the first round. And as we mentioned, there's already been some trades that kind of shook some things up. But I definitely like Caden Allen going early. Rocket, he's got a lot of potential. I think he had a really, really good winning record as far as the California Slingers last year. So he'd be a good pickup there in their second round.
Absolutely. Next up, we're going to go with the Colorado Timber, and this is one of those ones that has already, you've seen some change there with the trade. So you had Frank Maudlin. Frank Maudlin is someone that the Carolina Coasters wanted bad. And they wanted him bad enough that they traded their first round pick and Derek King to get him. So that gives the Timber the 4th and the 6th for the first round. So what you're going to see here is they could get Sammy Soto and Jackson Gore potentially at 4 and 6, which is, a really strong start. Then after that, so they would skip their second round pick. That would go to the Coasters. So third round, Matthew Troxel. Fourth round, Dalton McClem. And fifth round, Jerry Lockwood, rounding out their team. And then obviously swapping Frank Maudlin for Derek King there on the left-hand side, alongside Eric Anderson, Justin Doss, Adam Hisner, Josh Holland, and Captain Yeti Irwan.
Yeah, I think one of the strange things for the Timber for me was keeping Justin Doss as one of their keepers, but I dove into a little bit more, and he was very, very successful in teams last year. So if I were Yeti, Frank, and Josh, or whoever's making the decision with the keepers, I could definitely see why they decided to keep them. I do like this trade on both sides. I like Frank Maudlin getting a team up with Jamie Graham over on the Coaster squad, and I also like how we talked about it. They would have, what'd you say, the 4th and 6th pick, Meesh?
Yeah, 4th and 6th.
Yeah, so the 4th and 6th, it gives them the opportunity to get Soto and Gore right there, depending on what happens with that 5th pick. And Sammy Soto and Jackson Gore are pro partners this year, so I think it could be an interesting little 1-2 punch there in the first round for the Timber.
Absolutely. Next up, the Virginia Cutters, and we're going to hear from their captain, Justin Stranger, after we go through our draft. He on his team has Leston Allen, Logan Chamberlain, Michael Dingus, Dakota Salee, and Ryan Wiedenfeld. Has the number 1 pick overall, which we are predicting is going to go to Jake Gore, giving him a solid start. In the second round, Jamie Fincham. Third round, Jay Corley. Fourth round, Elizabeth Tennyson. And fifth round, Eric Sherney, with a good little squad there for the Cutters.
Yeah, we kind of differed on the first pick, but we ultimately settled on Jacob Gore, understandably why he was just dominant last season. We kept thinking it was a fluke and he was going to fall off. He never did. Jacob Gore stayed strong from the very beginning of the season all the way to the end. I could definitely see him going as the number 1 pick. The reason I picked Sammy Soto as the number 1 pick on my mock draft is because Logan Chamberlain was a little loud last year, He kind of developed this alpha, spirit animal inside himself. And I was thinking, okay, if Logan's got first pick, he's definitely going after Sammy Soto. So we'll see if Justin keeps the pick himself or if he gives in to what Logan has to say. But either way, I think it's going to be an interesting first pick. We talked a little bit about trade offers. He's not biting on anything. So sorry, everyone who's reaching out for that first pick. It ain't happening. And then we talked to him a little bit too about the recency bias, and he said that he doesn't really have a recency bias there. So Elizabeth in the number 4 spot. I wonder if that happens or not, both from Maryland.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see. Next up, the Ohio Aviators, captained by Noah Almanza. Keeper players Matt Abernathy, Trey Birchfield, Tyler Cobb, Carson Getty, and Fisher Hamilton. Predicting his first round pick will be Jeremiah Ellis. Second round, Isabella Soprenet. Third round, Landon Crabtree. Fourth round, Mike McClanahan. And fifth round, Justin Carpenter. And that would give us your Aviators squad.
Yeah, so last year the Aviators, they were part of this trade during the draft. They got Carson Getty and Gabe Dolan. You see them deciding to keep Carson Getty this year. I know the Aviators are, rumored in some of these trade situations of what could happen. Love Jeremiah Ellis staying in Ohio, going to the Aviators there. Hopefully that'll happen. A lot of Ohio fans would love it if that's the case. Isabella Soprenet, obviously the question mark after what happened last season, but all things I hear this year says she'll be back and ready to go. And if I know Bella, she's been throwing on them boards all off season.
Oh, I don't doubt it. The Woodchucks. Jimmy Humans, one of the people responsible for trying to do a lot of different trades. And we'll talk about it, what he did do in just a second. His squad consists of Storm Hogue, Michael Lucas Jr., Kyle Malone, Zach Scheibner, and Jacob Trzynski. We had predicted that he would get Alex Hicks in the first round. However, he has traded his first round pick for Gavin Cano. So that would mean that the Mays would have that spot where we've slotted Alex Hicks. So we'll see if that happens. Second round, we put Frank Verona. Third round, Miranda Coy. Fourth round, Andrew Noyes. And fifth round, Robert Sperry. And very curious to see how that plays out with that early trade.
Yeah, I know that Frank Verona and Jimmy Hughes would definitely like to throw with each other in this team's event. Kind of curious to see what they're going to do with Kyle Malone and Jake Trzynski. I mean, those were two strong affiliates for Jimmy Humans last year, but now they're pro partners on different teams. I wonder if Jimmy might be trying to pull some last-minute trades to get them with their pro partners and get some more picks here.
Absolutely. Next up, the Vegas High Rollers. Tanner Halbert is the captain of this team. He has Kobe Costanza, Cody Henderson, Alan Rawls, Hunter Thorne, and Eric Zockline. First round pick, we predict, goes to Matt Sorrell. Second round, Matt Allen. Third round, Colby Shearer. Fourth round, Felix Vargas. And fifth round, Mike Selmeyer. We know brother of Mike Selmeyer Brandon has done very well in the team's events. So putting the other Selmeyer on there and seeing how he does. Oh, looks like Wally froze on us there. It's been the struggle bus. So we will keep on rolling with it. Moving on to the Carolina Coasters, the other side of that Frank Maudlin trade. Jamie Graham alongside Trevor Brooks, Eric Davis, Chad Hunt, Berkeley Pear, and was Derek King, traded Derek King to the Timber for Frank Maudlin. He loses that first round pick, so that's why it's going to say Frank Maudlin there. Essentially, he picked him up in the trade. Second round, Ian Cripps. Third round, Sarah Cassidy. Fourth round, Mike Harvey. And fifth round, Blake Karnick. So interested to see how that is going to play out and if that is going to be a trade that works in their advantage. Giving up 2 first-round picks for Frank Maudlin. Does that pay off? We will find out. But we're going to take a quick break and come back with the rest of the teams right after this. Welcome back. We went through the first half of the mock draft. We are going to hop into the next part of this, starting off with the Kentucky Colonels. We've got Matt Guy as the captain here. Players on that team are going to be Damon Dennis, Samantha Finley, Kimberly Glass, Brett Guy, and Justin Rule. Predicting the number 1 pick will go to Vincent Frisch. And we talked about this. It doesn't seem like a pick the Colonels would go for, but it does seem like the best pick of what's available. So it will be interesting to see if they pick Frisch because he's there and a great pick, or if they're going to go with someone that maybe more seems like a fit for the Colonels. Second round, Mark Burgess. He's one that I keep talking about. I feel like he should go in the first round with his stats. A really strong season. last season, so we'll see where he falls. 3rd round, Michael Allen. 4th round, Kaylee Hunter. And 5th round, Carter Bennett.
Yeah, I honestly think we kind of messed this one up because Carter Bennett is making a huge name for himself in the pro division, and I think he's going way earlier than that. But we'll see how it plays out. I love him going to Kentucky, though. Again, we kind of talked about the regions having a hometown star that they can get excited about. Carter Bennett could be that star for the Kentucky Colonels. Vincent Frisch was somebody I'm surprised wasn't kept. The Timber had a chance to keep him on their squad, and letting him go back to the free agent market was kind of a shock to me. But if it plays out this way, this could be an opportunity to get me on board for the Colonels, because last year everybody else was on board. I just wasn't sold. And then they had, I think, was kind of a letdown season. This could be a bounce back year for them.
Yeah, very interesting. Next up is the Texas Bully Baggers. Eddie Grindersleeve is the captain. Players alongside him: Caleb Batson, Cameron Kingfisher, Deborah Odom, AJ Sims, Dylan Turpin. So lots of Texas love happening there. So it seems like the obvious first pick is Braden Wilson if he's still available, which is unlikely, but if he is. And then I thought, Jaime Sanchez, is an obvious pick for the 2nd round. And if he is still available, a strong pickup, good stats from last season. 3rd round, Mike Jaquez. 4th round, Caleb Franklin. And 5th round, Ernest Monarca.
Now, this team is different. This is the one where if Eddie had his chance, he would have 16 players from Texas on this squad.
Agreed.
He believes fully in everybody from Texas, and quite frankly, everybody on this list is a strong player from Texas. I mean, I think if Jaime is there, you're missing out on Felix Vargas III. We could put him in Mike Jaquez's spot maybe, but you can never understand Mikey and his airmails. I like Caleb Franklin there in the 4th round. Obviously, Braden Wilson, strong name, strong offseason, brings a lot to the table. I'll be surprised if he falls down to the Texas Bully Baggers, but if he's there, they're not going to pass him up.
Absolutely not. Arizona Burn, captained by Ty Lopez, playing with Derek Holland, Florentino Mendoza, Jeff Reynolds, Doug Zaft, and Moses Zazueta. Another team that I think really does like to see if they can get some Arizona players on the team, which is why we thought their 1st round pick may go to Chris Roybal. 2nd round, Nick Petusky. 3rd round, Jay Dotson. 4th round, Tyler Parent. And 5th round, Ricky G., which would be a pretty good team. We know how well Arizona did last season, almost winning the entire thing. Great synergy. So a really good example of a team that came together in the end.
Yeah, I like how they even promoted Ty up to being the team captain this year. Asking Doug if he wanted it back, and they're like, no, give it to Ty. I think I heard that on one of your guys' shows. I thought that's just a really cool story, and it does go to show how they became a cohesive unit rather than just a team full of pro players last year. And I think that speaks volumes. Ricky G in the 5th round, if he falls that far, that'd be a huge pickup. Ricky G shined last year in teams, and I think he's just a good player to have on your squad.
Michigan Marauders, captained by Joe Neested. His keeper players: Mike Ferreira, Trevor Kufis, Chucky Love, Jordan Power, and Jeremy Schermerhorn. Jeremy Schermerhorn was a player they got in a trade and decided to keep him, which makes a lot of sense. 1st round, Tommy Sliker. 2nd round, Steve Schrader. 3rd round, Maya Cup. 4th round, Curtis Haddix. And 5th round, Tony Mayball. I do think they're a team that probably would like to stay a lot on their region, but I'm not sure if they're going to pass. With Joe's, I guess, strategy, I'm not sure if he'll pass up best available to go regional.
Yeah, I kind of talked to him about it when I was out there at that tournament that Kimberly Glass ran, and it didn't really sound like he was trying to stay regional, but he does have a lot of Michigan pride. Obviously, Jordan Power moving to the East Coast, a little bit of hit as far as that goes, but strong player. That's his pro partner this year. Jeremy Schermerhorn teaming up with Anthony Mayball, so that 5th round pick right there makes a lot of sense. And last year, their strategy was to have pro teams paired up together. It didn't work out as well as they thought it would have. So let's see if they decide to keep that same strategy this year.
Yep. Chicagoland Spinners, captained by Mark Richards. Players on his team: Timmy Jonas, Jordan Kimbrell, Philip Lopez Jr., Nico Morales, and Tyler Poitras. Giving the first round pick to Pat Sem, rookie, 2, Jeremiah Hector, 3, Josh Glover, 4, Jason Frady, and 5, PJ Knott. Now, I know you got something to say about PJ Knott.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like these picks that you got here. They're kind of a whole bunch of OGs in there that really don't get the respect that they deserve. I think, Pat and Jeremiah, Josh Glover, PJ Knott, and Jason Frady, I think they're all strong players that really haven't had their chance to shine. PJ has a nice approach to the boards whenever he's playing the games. I hope that we get to see a little bit of that this year. Tyler Poitras teaming up with Nico Morales makes sense to keep them together. So I'm kind of curious to see how they go with their picks this year.
Cali Slingers, Tony Smith, keeping Corey Gilbert, Travis Purser, Alec Ryan, Nick Williams, and Peter Zazueta Jr. Their first round pick predicted is Justin Duke, followed up in second round by Rosie Streaker, who was on the team last season. Number 3 at Michael Nunez, who is a local player here in Cali, strong PPR guy. Number 4 in Dean Norton, which is Corey Gilbert's committed pro partner. And number 5, Andrew Labrador, which is Nick Williams' pro partner.
Yeah, I think one thing that absolutely has to happen here with the California Slingers, though, is Tony has to make a trade. They got to get somebody to throw with Alec Ryan because Alec and Tony just did not work last year.
They can't throw together. We
have
together. They have decided.
Yeah, we gotta find somebody to throw with those guys. But yeah, I like Justin Duke. I got a lot of grief from Justin for not putting him in my first round draft pick. So here you go, Justin. You're in the first round now, thanks to Meesh kind of putting you there. Love what Rosie did. She's on a Blue Bear team again, according to us, and staying Cali strong there near the end.
The Missouri Mays are going to be captained there by Ryan Windsor. They are the ones that got that first, or who did they get? Gavin Cano. That's what it was. No, gave away Gavin Cano.
Yeah, gave away Gavin.
I got lost. That's right. Gave away Gavin. So they will have 2 first-round picks. They have Steven Bernasette, Isidro Herrera, Jalen Jones, and Ethan Walker. So we didn't have time to redo this based on the fact that they're going to have those 2 first-round picks. We had them taking Ryan Trader, but I guess we'd have to look at who the Woodchucks would have gotten in that first round, and that would be the swap.
I believe it's kind of interesting how we did this because I believe that pick is Alex Hicks. So Alex Hicks,
That's right. It was Alex Hicks.
And Ryan Trader and Alex Hicks partners this season. So that could be interesting.
Okay, so yeah, thank you for reminding me. So that's what happened. Second round pick, Brady Foster. Third round, Matthew Stout. Fourth round, Dan Glokowski. And fifth round, Ryan Tucker. So if they do grab Alex Hicks at that spot where the New England Woodchucks were, then yes, you would have Ryan Trader and Alex Hicks in the first round for the Missouri Mays. Pretty strong little squad. All right, Pennsylvania Ringers, the former champs. Devin Harbaugh, the captain there. His keeper players were Justin Burton Jr., Tubby Cobb, Matthew Creekkiller, Trey Hunt, and Gage Landis. Predicting their first round pick will go to Steve Dericki. Second round, Mike Hoffman. Third round, Connie Altice. Fourth round, Devin Wolf. And fifth round, Damon Reynolds.
Yeah, I think it was kind of unfortunate with Jake Foreman stepping away, trying to find somebody to fill in that spot. They elected to go with Trey Hunt. Kind of shocked that Connie Altice wasn't one of the keepers, but then looking at their keepers that they got, I mean, there's just no room there. So if they are able to get her back on the squad, I love that for her. Don't really know too much about Devin Wolf and hearing great things. Looking forward to seeing him actually on the boards this year. You know, my thoughts on Steve Dericki and Mike Hoffman last year. Damon Reynolds, a player out of the Midwest, though, that if you guys don't know who he is, I think he's going to get on your guys' radar this year. Strong player.
Last up, we've got the Florida Freeze, captained by Alex Rawls, with players Cheyenne Bubenheim, Jeremy Frazier, Ryan Hart, Chris Kingsbury, and Blaine Rozier. Predicting their first round pick to go to Austin Cameron, second round, Austin Slowbaum, third round, Nate Voyer, fourth round, Gina Ramirez, and fifth round, Brandon Selmeyer, to round out the Freeze.
You know, this is my squad, Meesh. You know, I've been a Freeze guy from day one. Yeah. Absolutely love what they did with their keepers here. They are coming back very, very strong, which is why they have the last pick. And if they can go out there and get my boy in the first round, Austin Cameron, I will be ecstatic. hoping it happens.
Absolutely. All right, we got a couple minutes left here, Wally. If you want to add in anything about what you think about trades or anything to round out our mock draft.
Yeah, so one thing I kind of wanted to talk about, it's already happened. So I was thinking that the Missouri Mays should try and trade up in the draft. I was thinking maybe have the Mays trade to the Aviators to get that early third round pick or third pick overall and get Gavin Connell paired up with Fisher Hamilton. So my team is going to be kind of based along the lines of these new partner swaps and who we want to see. Obviously, Frank Modlin getting traded, teaming up with Jamie Graham. Some other names that I kind of talked about, Jake Krasinski. And we know Jimmy Humans likes to make some trades. Tanner Halliburton, I'm wondering if he's going to try and make a move on draft day to go get Jake Krasinski and maybe give up his first round so that way he can play with his pro partner. I think in my projections, I did my mock draft, and I think I had Jordan Camber in the second round and getting picked by Tanner Halliburton. So that would team up Zockline and Tanner. So right there, two strong players if they're able to pull that off. Another team that I was thinking could make a splash along the same lines, again, Jimmy Human's involved in it, and that's Kyle Malone at the Ringers. I think that Devin Harbaugh has some strong keepers there, and if Jimmy Humans is able to go out there and get one of those keepers for Jake Krasinski and then maybe swap like a first round in the second round or a third round or something like that, the Woodchucks could end up coming out swinging. Now, obviously, we saw they've already made some trades. They've already put some things in motion, so we started recording this like about 40 minutes ago. Who knows? There could be 3 or 4 more
what happened.
I don't know. What do you think about all these trades or all these partner swaps in the offseason, maybe trying to pair up their partners?
Yeah, actually, I'm going to table that because it's part of my game question. So we're going to take a quick break and come back with our game, and we'll get more into that. Welcome back. We are going to have our interview here with Justin Stranger, the captain of the Cutters. So welcome, Justin, to the show.
Thanks for having me.
What's up, buddy?
Yeah, of course. What was it like last season, and what do you think is going to be different this season as a team captain?
Last season, I guess, for the Cutters was kind of a struggle from the beginning. I wasn't even supposed to be the main captain, but our main captain had some issues and never made it to any of the pro events, so I was kind of like a fill-in, which made it difficult for the team as we had 2 starting captains compared to most of our teams stacked 3, like having Richards and Lopez on the same team and me and Leston as like fill-ins for James. Hoping this year, since everybody gets reset with just 6 players from the start, it should even it back out and negate the fact that we only had 2 captains last year.
I can't remember back to last year. Were you at the draft, running the draft?
I was actually, with James not being there and Lesson also didn't make it down to the Open, I was the only one there for that.
Okay, so do you feel like you got some experience from last year that maybe you can carry over to this year?
I was going to say, you had to take on that role.
Yeah, I didn't really have much of a choice, but I mean, I feel like looking at the pro division, I tend to know most of the people, what bags they throw, how it goes. And I mean, last year after my first 2 picks, I had a lot of help from Wiedenfeld and Chamberlain, and I know they'll be there again as well as some of our other team members. So I'm hoping to have some better input this year.
What do you think about, just going with whatever's best available on the board versus going for doubles partners versus regionality? Like, where's your head at in terms of how you make these picks?
I don't think regionality really plays a main part of it. I mean, obviously the team names are named after different areas, but I mean, you can't just go regionally. Some areas are stacked, and by the time everybody else drafts, somebody else is drafting that way. So you're not going to have the picks that you want from your region anyway. Doubles partners versus best available is a little bit of a harder topic. I feel like in cornhole, there's always the person on the team that everybody else is going to judge as better than the other, no matter what actually happens in that game. So it depends on the doubles partners you're looking at, but you also can't draft 16 players where none of them at all agree or have any sort of synergy. So you gotta try and balance it between people that are going to work well together while also being that caliber of player that you need.
Now, how far into it are you looking? Like, I know there were some captains last year that had spreadsheets that showed if the player was strong with their arm on the outside of the board or, if they were a better doubles partner, a DPR player, or carpet or whatever, how far are you going into it though compared to other captains?
Definitely not that deep. I mean, inside outside hand is one of those things where you're a pro, figure it out. I mean, it's a difference, but it's not. It should not make that much of a difference in your game. For the most part, I mean, I already said I know what people like to throw, what kind of style they can throw. So I'm kind of just I have like my first like 2 or 3 rounds, like people that I'm looking at. But other than that, you get a long enough break in between the 16. It's more than 16 picks in between, or about 16 that you get. So we've got a while in between the rounds to figure out who you want next and mark off who gets picked as it goes and keep at it.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think that you do kind of want to blend. Like we saw with the Burn, how well the synergy worked for that team. They didn't necessarily have the top ranked players all together in the team, but they had that synergy and almost won the whole thing. So I think that they kind of laid the foundation of how successful that can be. So I think that's kind of a cool test of that. The draft can be pretty stressful, though. It moves pretty quickly. So how are you kind of preparing? Like, are you going to have like a laptop spreadsheets, Zoom sessions? Like, what do you think your prep is going to be like and what you'll have there at the table?
I mean, we've already we like have spreadsheets with the full available roster, and just kind of glancing through it, looking at, do I kind of want this person? Would I want this person, or are they a high pick? Are they a low pick? Like where you would want to get different people. So I'll probably just have the spreadsheet or the roster with us and cross names off as we go. Zoom meetings, I'm hoping shouldn't be that necessary. I'm pretty sure all of my remaining players will be there at the draft or don't have that much input if they're not going, so shouldn't be a big worry on that.
Now, with you having the number 1 pick, have you been offered any type of trades or anything for that number 1 pick, or
like 75 times? Like it's unbelievable. That's all people do, come after me. And now that some of the other captains know who I'm leaning towards on my first pick anyway, so they're trying to trade me for that person. Other people want my pick. Other people just want random things. Jimmy Humans is always harassing me wanting something.
Relentless.
No, I'm telling you, and he's like, he's not gonna make a dumb trade. He's gonna think he's winning in whatever trade he's gonna offer me, and he wants people that I personally like and I think are better than how they performed last year, and I want to keep them anyway. I think with a clean slate, with having just 6 players and not missing a captain, and we have 2 very good picks, the first pick and the third pick in the second round. I think we've got a good shot this year.
How much will that rookie showcase play into the decisions that you make? You mentioned that you are familiar with a lot of the players. So is that going to weigh or skew you in a direction?
I think a lot of the rookie class, at least now that the U18 players can be drafted, they're going to be gone before I might get 2 picks of those people. I mean, a lot of those real high talent are going to be taken already. There's minimal new pros that are like low end picks. I mean, you've got a few that maybe want easier conference qualifiers than other, but those people are likely already going to go to like their local people that know them as like a sleeper pick or have some synergy with them. So I don't think it'll be a big deal for us. I know most of the new pros anyway, so we'll see.
Nope. Wally's struggling. So Wally is actually at Rock Hill already as we're recording this at the Cambria. So dealing with some internet Wi-Fi issues, but that's okay. We will roll with it. At least you're here. It's going to be interesting when you're not here and it's just me and him popping on and off. But no, I think that you're so young to take on this role. This is a leadership type of role. Does that kind of pressure weigh on you at all?
I mean, not overly. I mean, we have responsibilities that have to get done, and some of my the younger picks from last year, some of them are always on me, like, you're not doing enough as captain. But it's like the sort of thing where, like, I didn't tell him that he had to be there at 9 o'clock like the next morning, but I'm like, come on, man, you're a pro. I'm 18, 19 now. I mean, I know when I have to be places. Like, it's all posted there for us. I mean, you gotta do something for yourself. I mean, yeah. I guess this year I'll give them all the reminder because apparently some of them couldn't keep track of it for themselves, but it's not that big of a deal. It's kind of fun. I like being the captain. It's better marketability anyway.
That's a very good point that I think probably most pros don't realize. But
Yeah, I think
go ahead.
I said I think 2 or 3 of the captains like opted to not take it this year and let one of their other players do it. And I don't know. I don't see the benefit in doing that because it really wasn't all that much work for me to do. I mean, you have the draft and then you show up and you set the lineups, which it really took like 30 seconds an event. Like it wasn't a big deal. So not taking that opportunity just to not have to deal with that little bit of stuff is, I don't know. I didn't think that was worth it.
I have a feeling it might have a lot to do with being a leader. I think that's a role, right? Like not the actual logistical stuff you have to do, but you are the leader of the team. And some people might not want that energetic role, right?
I mean, that's one of the reasons I drafted a lot of people that I was also kind of close with. Like, I mean, I'm friends with Wiedenfeld and Chamberlain, and then I had some of my local Virginia people, all which had input or would just mess around. Like it was a good mix on our team. I feel like regardless of how we did with our captains and other issues, that we had fun as a team.
Good. That's obviously what's going to matter the most, and hopefully this season you get a lot more stability with your team.
For sure.
And I have no doubt that you will thrive. So looking forward to seeing what happens. But that's about all we have time for, Justin. Thank you so much for joining us, and looking forward to seeing you this weekend at the draft.
Thank you guys for the invite again. I mean, I'd say bye to Wally, but he can't seem to figure his way in here. I guess I'll see you guys this weekend. See you, Wally.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks, Justin.
Thanks.
All right. It's time for the game, Wally. Starting off with our top floor bagger and 4-bagger. Let's go with our top 4-bagger to begin. What do you got?
I don't know if you said floor or 4. The speaker on this lobby computer is absolutely terrible. But my top 4-bagger is going to be, I think I'm stealing this from you from a few weeks ago. It's charity events. So we had a fundraiser tournament for my buddy who passed away. I don't know if I told you when it happened or not, but it's a sad story. He died in a motorcycle accident. Later on that night, his brother passed away in his sleep as well. So the family was shook. So absolutely heartbreaking. In the cornhole community, we've done multiple tournaments and fundraisers. We got together this weekend. We all had a lot of fun. We ran a tournament, had basically switch Holio in the morning into a blind draw and then some cash games and stuff like that on the side. And a lot of players, non-players, a lot of friends showed up. We had a good time out there at our local Moose. So definitely love the cornhole community coming together and, raising money for good causes.
I love that. Yours is so like sweet, and mine's the Titan video. I love the Titan video. Yeah. What were you gonna say? I cut you off.
I said that Titan video had me off guard. Like I saw the intro, or I saw it coming up, and I was like, okay, last year they had like all these, bad cars and like strong poses and stuff like that. So if you guys haven't seen it, definitely check it out. It was entertaining.
Yeah. All right, floor bagger, what you got?
Well, floor bagger right now for me is hotel internet.
No kidding.
Not having a good time with this hotel internet and in the lobby, and it turns out there's like a timer on the screen, so I got 3 minutes left. I'm gonna have to extend that and see if I can maybe keep this going, or I don't know, I might get cut off again. But yeah, hotel internet not vibing with me right now, but I'll go back to my original floor bagger. I'm actually kind of bummed about these trades. Like, I like the trades that are happening, but I wish that we would save them for the draft. If we would save them for the draft, it would make the draft that much more exciting. The fact that they're happening a little bit before the draft is kind of wah-wah. Now we just talk about it, rather than it actually happening live.
I hear you. So mine is that Cody Henderson and Adam Hisner broke up. I just feel like that's the team that was never going to break up, and I don't necessarily think it was the wrong decision. It just feels like something's wrong with the cornhole world.
Yeah, at first glance, when I looked at it, I was like, Hisner and Birchfield, what? Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, they're close. Ohio, they play together quite a bit, and it makes sense. A big signing for Titan, by the way, going out and getting Birchfield. It's kind of sad to see him leave, but I mean, I think the whole offseason's been this way, though. Everything's been shook up. Our expectations are way off, and players and teams and bag sponsors are going to do what they want to do.
No doubt. All right, send it or board it. You got to send it or board it for me?
I do. Let me see what I put. Okay. So I got a message in the car on the way here. Josh Keck, shout out to him, by the way, gave me a ride from the airport. And one of our local players like, hey, congratulations on sponsoring the bar this year. I'm going to be throwing there pretty much every day of the week. And I'm going all in this season. I want to make it serious. So he said, if you sponsor me this season, I will get a tattoo of your logo on my arm. So, Meesh, is there ever a situation where you ascend it and get a tattoo on your arm?
No. Absolutely. I have like a few tattoos. I don't have like, if I had like a sleeve, it's like whatever, throw one in, but no.
Yeah. I mean, I'm boarding it. I'm not even getting my own logo tattooed on my arm.
Yeah, boarding it all day. Okay, mine is so for the trade that they did for Maudlin, I want to know if you would send it if you were the coasters. So you trade your first round pick and Derek King for Frank Maudlin. Send it or board it.
At first glance, I did not like it. And then I saw what the Timber could do. We talked about maybe getting Gore and Soto. So I love the Timber part of it. And on the other hand, now I have to think, okay, is the first round pick better than Frank Maudlin? That's a tough question because Frank Maudlin always has good runs in tournaments. He's a strong, strong player. And a chance for you to be a team captain, go out there and get your partner, not only does it show that you want him on your squad and you have faith in him, I think it's going to help their actual pro partnership as well. It's like, dude, we're all in. We want each other for every single thing that we do this year. So, second glance, I like it.
All right, so you're sending it.
Yeah, I'm sending it.
I'm boarding it just because I don't want to give the Timber 2 first round picks like that. I don't like that at all. 4th and 6th. Yeah. I mean, it's so early on. I like, so it's not necessarily about Frank Maudlin. It's more about setting up that team so well with the 4th and the 6th pick. Would you rather?
All right, would you rather jump in a pool filled with tacks and nails or do another live feed on hotel internet?
That's a close one. I mean, how many tacks or nails? Is it just like shallow end? I mean,
the whole thing. I think I'm jumping in, Meesh.
Okay, mine's a little more simple, and it's just what we were saying earlier. So would you rather draft partners or best available? So you have your list in front of you. Do you want to try to find partners to put together, or do you want just whoever is best available?
The more and more I think about it, I'm going partners for this. I like the chemistry building. The few mock drafts I did, I noticed that whenever I was doing them, I wasn't planning on it, but I had a lot of partner on partners going into it. And again, I kind of want to use teams and the pro season together rather than a separate thing. So I like partner.
So I like best available because I'm probably naive, because I think that if I'm like the captain, that I can create like the team's synergy and energy just because I think I can create it, which isn't probably necessarily true, but that would be my thought process. Like, I don't need to get partners. I will create a team chemistry by, leading this team. Like it was fun. Who knows if that's right.
I feel like this year it's serious. It's time to get serious.
Yeah, probably. You're probably right. Well, Wally, we made it to the end. It's been a struggle. I think we've, it's like we hiked up 6 mountains, 25 switchbacks. We lost some gear on the way. We had to start a fire, but there wasn't any wood. I mean, it's been a trek, but we made it. So that's all we got time for, everyone. We'll see you guys if you're going to be here in Rock Hill. Otherwise, I will see you next week.